By the way, have you ever asked yourself how many times people start businesses and they fail? Have you ever asked yourself how many times people start businesses and they don't make it? This is where we talk about business, marriage, and relationship. I am your host, Manuel, and this is TEAMTALK254, where we talk matters behind the boardroom doors. Today we are having our guests. And before I introduce our guest today, thank you so much to eFilm Studio for hosting us today. Thank you so much to Look Media behind the cameras. Right away, let's discuss our today's topic, where we'll be talking about how to balance business and marriage. Introducing my guests in 3, 2, 1. Karibuni sana.
Asante.
Let me have you introduce yourselves. Starting with Brian, Cynthia.
Brian.
Brian, karibu sana, Brian.
Yeah, B comes first in the alphabetical order. So I'll gladly go first. My name is Brian, an engineer by profession, director in Freatic Aqua Solutions Limited.
My name is Cynthia Wambui Anyira. Anyira is here. I am a teacher by profession, you'll wonder, but also a projects manager. That is what I am pursuing right now, and we are so glad to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
Karibuni sana. Thank you so much. And before we continue, let me talk about Freatic Aqua Solutions Limited in a minute. Freatic Aqua Solutions Limited, this is the leading company in borehole drilling, borehole equipping, water treatment, irrigation, and green energy. These are the best people when we talk about matters water. Yani, kama hujachimbiwa borehole na hawa, make sure the service is done by them. Once they are in your projects, they'll make sure you get the best out of everything they do. Ukambani mnasema hakuna maji, ukiingia Freatic Solution, utapata maji.
Right.
Thank you so much. Let me have Brian tell us just a little bit before we start about Freatic Aqua Solutions Limited.
Wow, thank you so much. It's so refreshing, and we are so glad to be here. Freatic Aqua Solutions is a company based in Machakos town, but serving the whole country in terms of water solutions. We are passionate about giving the Lower Eastern region and giving them water that is drilling, and also making sure that people have accessible, clean drinking water. So that is our scope, and we are here to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And before we continue, sijui huyu ndio mtoto wa Freatic ama Freatic ndio mtoto wa huyu. We have Aquifina Crystal Clear. This is run by, I don't know, it's Brian or Cynthia, but we'll find out. These are the people who refill water for you, be it homesteads, be it offices. Get their numbers and they will always deliver on time. Maji yao ni tamu. Maji inakuanga tamu ama sawa ama, but maji yao on point. Well treated, haina hizo vitu unaonjanga, sijui unasikia chumvi, sijui nini. These are the right people. Let me have you, Cynthia, tell us just shortly about Aquifina.
Aquifina Crystal Clear is a business that came about after Freatic. So rightfully, yes, it's a baby of Freatic. The slogan of Freatic is drill, test, treat, drink. So towards the drink part, we realized that yes, we're giving our clients water to drink, but we can also come in and give a community where they are not able to drill boreholes as it now, but they need good quality water. So that is where we came in, and Aquifina was born there. And our slogan in Aquifina is provision of quality and affordable drinking water. You may think that quality and affordability may not go in the same sentence, but it is very possible when you allow that, water is life.
Water is
And,
life.
and if we make life expensive, it may not be accessible to the common mwananchi. And that is where we come in. We want the common mwananchi to access clean and healthy water. That is how Aquifina Crystal Clear was born.
Nice. So
Yes.
Aquifina ni mtoto wa
Phreatic, yes.
Thank you so much. Before Brian tells us who is the boss of the house. Thank you so much, eFilm Studio, for having us. Thank you for hosting us. eFilm Studios is located in Machakos town. Hapo wanapiga picha safi, studio photography, event photography, be it weddings, be it rural shows. Thank you to Look Media behind the cameras. Hao ndio wale wase. Wako pia na studio kali sana hapo stage. Ukiwa Quickmart hapo juu, you can always reach them out for events and studio photography. Brian, nani mdosi wa hizi vitu?
Wow, that's a that's a tricky question. Wow. Our overall boss is God.
Thank you.
In regards to our business, and he is the one who detects what we do. But in terms of operating the business, we have 50% shares in terms of operating the business.
Yes.
So all of us are bosses in the
Cynthia,
business.
Yes.
who is the boss?
We are both bosses, even legally. Our shareholding, the government knows it's 50-50. And that helps because in as much as we are gifted very differently, both roles come into play and we complement one another. Also, when it comes to decision making, it also really, really helps. We're also looking at a point where the company will grow and we'll sell shares. And once we start selling those shares, we want to have also the majority of stake remaining with us and not any partner feeling like they are left out in the business. Thirdly, because we are creating a legacy, we do not want a legacy to depend entirely on one person, not on me, not on him, but we are creating a legacy based on a brand. That is why it is 50-50. It is not Cynthia, it is not Brian, it is Phreatic Aqua Solutions Limited.
Well, for the first time. Hiyo nayo ni very unique. Thank you so much. So, something I've not told you, which you need to know. Brian and Cynthia are married. They are married. So this is a couple. Actually, it's a family friend couple. It's a business friend couple. And we are very glad to host you, Brian and Cynthia. Asanteni sana, and thank you so much for showing up. And as we dive in, we would like to just go back like a step behind. And you tell us how you got together. I know ladies have details, so Cynthia, would you start it off? And then maybe Brian will add something.
It's interesting. Thank you for that question. It's interesting we have our love story starts at different points. Where mine started is not where his started. But we met in Moi University, and specifically the Christian Union. Why I'm saying specifically the Christian Union is because for those who know Moi University main campus, the geographical location of the School of Engineering and the School of Education it's worlds apart.
Ni kilometers.
Like you walk. Karibu chukue tuk-tuk. And then, so practically speaking, we will not have met. Why it not for the Christian Union? Secondly, the School of Engineering operations were very different from all other schools' operation. They had their own academic calendar, so sometimes you'll find they are on long holiday, we are in session. So why not for the Christian Union? We will not have met. So we happened to join the Christian Union, both of us at very different points. We did not know one another. And we ended up in the same committee, the worship committee. Was it love at first sight? No. No.
To your side.
On my side. I'm giving my part. I am giving my part. Was it love at first sight? No. For me, I had my type of friends. I am bubbly in public, and also, but also very private when I go to my place. So in such meetings, I would want just to come, have a good time. Of course, you're focusing on the agenda, but a laugh here and there was not bad. He was not that type of guy. He's studying engineering. Yeah, anataka meeting iishe. Aende alale, aamke asubuhi asome. Mimi nimekuja ku have a good time. Yeah. And at some point he felt like I'm not serious with life. I remember there's a time he found me reading before the meeting and was like, kumbe unasomanga? Niko like, yo, unadhani nilikuja shule kufanya nini? So for me, he was not my kind of guy. There are those people we clicked with. So, and he was chairing, he became the worship chair the following year. And I remember he will come tell us, we're going to pray for 1 hour, have a meeting for 1.5 hours, and we're going to leave. That meeting, we were used to everlasting meetings. So mtu kutuambia meeting inaisha by 1, tuko like, ni mbaya na wewe, si loosen up a bit. Hadi I remember thinking like, guy, mwenye atolewa na huyu jamaa, my Lord. But later, we formed a friendship, and I started catching feelings. He has no idea I am catching feelings. But with this friendship, it developed. I'm catching feelings. The first thing I did is I went into prayer and told God, no, God, no, I can't. At this juncture, his dad, Brian. So I'm like, this is your senior. How dare you? Yeah. But with time, we came to realize that the feelings were mutual. But still, he had committed not to get into a relationship when he is serving. So we decided we are not starting anything until he is done serving or until we decide otherwise. So we were both open to go our own different ways. And later is when he came and proposed and asked me, I'm not asking you to be my girlfriend, I'm asking you to be my wife.
Brian proposed?
Yes.
Alipiga magoti?
Hapana. Hapana.
Brian, wanaume wa siku hizi lazima aende chini na inakuanga moja. Sijawahi jua kwa nini inakuwa moja na sio zote mbili. Brian, anything to add up on how the journey was?
Later in life nilipiga magoti.
Yes.
Kiomba.
Okay.
Wow. Very, very interesting. I didn't know I was that strict in campus, but basically that's where we met. I identified her an ear before I proposed to her. And I decided, because I had told God, just as she has said, I told God I want to finish serving and then I can get into a relationship. And so I never showed my intentions. It's just that I think I remember a few times I could wake her up. She doesn't like waking up very early in the morning. I'm an early person. That's the dynamics of marriage. God puts people who are different into a union so that they can complement one another. What I cannot do late night, she can do. What she cannot do in the morning, I can do it. So that's where we met, in the committee. Actually, she was serving in the choir. And
pause. Kama alikuwa anaimba, alikuwa choir leader ama
My wife sings hymns.
Yes. Or specifically hymns?
No, the choir used to sing. Used to sing mostly hymns. So I got attracted to her. 1 year down the line, we decided to walk this journey together. So, and here we are.
Cynthia, were you ready to get married to a pastor? Were you not worried that Brian now will get straight to pastorhood and then, or you were just ready for anything?
No, I wasn't ready for anything. I'll be honest. No, and it's actually a discussion we had. I had my reservations about pastoral and politicians.
Okay.
And he clarified that it's a field or an area of calling that God may call him to, either or. And for me, if at that point, I was like, if I were to pick, I'd rather pastoral than political.
Political wing.
I don't like limelight and the way it highlights somebody. I like working in the background. I can do a lot in the background. So I felt that was a lot of pressure. and a lot of exposure and a lot of accolades from human beings. I'd rather do something in secret, and the Lord that rewards in secret sees and rewards that deed, than the accolades of men. So for me, it was a struggle. So, but sometimes you don't fight with, not sometimes you don't fight with God.
Yeah,
you don't fight with God. When Christ was about to allow me to bring this, because we are Christians, allow me to bring this. When Christ was about to enter Jerusalem for crucifixion, he sent the disciples, one of the disciples, to go and an entire cult. And when the disciple asked, what if the owner asks, why am I untying his colt? And Jesus' response is what has kept me going. Go and tell that person that the master is in need of it. So for me, in this case, if the master is in need of him, then I surrender. The same way he's a vessel, I am also a vessel, and I will never want to be an impediment towards to what God has called him to be.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Brian.
Yes.
How did you get Phreatic Aqua Solution into place? Where did it start? Did you just wake up and, okay, naenda kufungua kampuni, ni ya kuchimba maji, nimeenda. And on top of that, before you even tell us that, watu utoa wapi do ya kuanza kazi? Because mavijana watakwambia, hii idea niko nayo kali. Naenda kununua ndege, tukue tunadrop watu kutoka Nairobi, 1 minute, Machakos. Lakini hiyo do, before we get to the business, will you just tell us shortly, watu utoa wapi do ya kuanza kazi?
I'll answer that question in a different view. Business is solving people's problems. And when you solve someone's problem, the reward of solving a problem is the money.
Yes.
And so I won't negate the fact that capital is needed in terms of beginning a business.
Yes.
But one of the main questions someone needs to ask himself when you are about to begin a business is that, what kind of problem are you solving? If you get that question right, then you will be able to make money out of answering that question. Yeah. Because definitely, if you solve someone's problem, they will reward you by giving you money. So it becomes so easy, even if you go to any institution or a bank or someone who is willing to support a project, that those are partners or sponsors. If you tell them that this is what I'm going to solve, and then get and be able to now generate income out of it, it becomes so easy to begin a business. But now if you are not solving any problem in the society, then it becomes difficult because nobody will believe in your vision, nobody will buy, and it will become difficult. So I would advise anyone who would want to begin business, don't look at the capital, look at the problem you're solving.
Look at the problem you're solving. So that's one thing, a point to take home. Tuache kusema kamera ni 100 million Kenya shillings ndio nianze photography.
Yeah.
Solve a solution, I mean a problem, give a solution to someone in photography and they will be able to pay you that money. The money you're looking for iko kwa mifuko ya watu. How do you get that money out of their pockets? Solving their problems.
And if I can also add about that is, I think we, as young people, I don't know whether I qualify to be young. Gen Z, kama wewe si Gen Z when mzee, and I am not a Gen Z. So as young people, we want to start big. And I think that is usually our main problem. We do not believe in the small progressive steps. For example, and if given an example with a photography, you want a big camera, get a deal. Get a deal from a client. Go make a proposal. Say, I do photography. You do. In your mind, you do. You do photography, and I can do for you amazing work. And I'll charge you this rate, and then you negotiate. You come, they accept the proposal, you sign contract. You don't have equipment, right? Don't have equipment. And then you come and talk to e-films or some media and tell them, kuna hii deal. Kuna hii deal, niko na event, I'm supposed to shoot? Can I hire cameras from you? Can I hire sound from you? And then with that, slowly by slowly, you'll be able to accumulate capital that now can buy you one equipment here, the other equipment here. So don't wait until you want to you want to have a chopper of transporting people from one place to another. You want to start by buying a chopper. No, identify somebody that hires choppers out, and then once you identify that person, go sell that idea to somebody else. So what you're doing, you're a conduit. So once you charge here, you can be able to do your math. You get a quotation here, you can do your math and charge here, and you have your profit margins. And slowly you'll grow and build a brand. It does not come overnight. We are not where we want to be, but again, we're also not where we were yesterday. It's slowly and progressive.
That is very true.
Yeah.
And by the way, something we talked about in our last episode, we said it's good to start it with baby steps.
Yeah.
Pole pole, but very sure. Brian, Phreatic ilikuja aje on the way, and then on top of that, Aquifina ilikuja aje on board.
Wow. Probably let me demystify the ambiguous word in the room.
Please
Phreatic.
Please do.
Phreatic is just explosion or exploration of underground water. It's a scientific name for exploring underground water. Wow. As I've said, business is a desire to sort out a problem in the market. Now, I was employed, I think, for around 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And then I left employment to go and begin Phreatic. Why did I leave employment? One, I identified a problem in the market because they are in our business, like during the process of drilling, there is a step that comes in where you need to check the quality of your water. And so most of the drillers, by God's grace, I used to interact with them a lot in my previous place of employment. So most of them used to take their water for analysis in labs in Nairobi, where it could take 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or some of them even a month, for them to get their analysis done and the reports done. So I saw it as a gap in the market because it's usually tagged to a final payment in the borehole drilling process. So a client like the driller has paid the driller up to the borehole drilling point and is remaining with a balance of around 300 or 400,000, which he needs the report to be submitted so that the client can be able to remit the remaining balance of the money. How did I come in to solve the problem? We began Phreatic as I exited Davies and Shatcliffe, as I exited my former employment. We began Phreatic as a result of the desire to sort that need. And so our lab takes only 24 hours for you to have your report out. Now we narrowed it down from 2 weeks, a month, 1 week, to 24 hours.
That's a big mileage.
Yes. So almost all drillers within Machakos. And also the other problem was they were supposed to take their samples to Nairobi, because there was no lab in Machakos. So drillers are happy. I am happy making my money out of them. And then now progressively I realized there is need to create, because when I was employed, I only had enough for myself. I only had enough for myself and my family.
Pause, Brian. Nini ilikuconvince kabisa hii busy itawak, wacha niache kazi? Did you just stop and said, if it works, sawa. Isipo work, sawa. So where is that thin line here? Nimewacha. Because someone is asking themselves, yes, I want to start this thing, but unajua hapa niko very sure mshahara inaingia. Now what if it doesn't work? So what is that thin line of, at this point now, I'm able to leave the place I'm employed to go now venture into the new.
Wow, that's a tricky question. Actually, where I was employed, I was earning good.
Yeah.
I was earning a very good salary.
Yeah.
I would say going to launch out is a step of faith.
Yeah.
Going to launch out is a step of faith. Believing and trusting that whatever you're going to offer to the market is going to be accepted.
Yes.
Do I say we go into it blindly? No. I have said and stated my problem that I was going to solve in the market. So it involved doing research. I had to sit down with these drillers and tell them and ask them, by the way, how can we do this in a better way? And so launching out, I will say, is a step of faith. And sometimes when you do it, I can't say that it was very smooth.
No.
Actually, the first 2 months, we almost missed rent after leaving formal employment.
A question. At that time, you already married.
Yes.
Yes.
What
With a
did your
kid.
wife say that now? Hey, unajua ni aje? My wife, I am quitting. What did your wife say?
My wife is very factual.
Yeah.
Even if you tell her that I'm doing this out of faith, she would want to see facts. Because she would want to see how it was working. So I did it in a wise way. Before I launched out, I think 3 or 4 months before I left formal employment, we decided to begin the lab officially.
Already when
Yes.
you are okay.
So it was running concurrently. Like I'm in employment, I'm
And also
working,
you're doing-
and my wife is on the other hand, of which I really appreciate her for that. Because she is not in engineering.
Yeah.
This is something very new. I've introduced her to a very new kind. She didn't study it in school, at least I had a hint of it. But she took hold of it. And she's still holding it even right now when I left employment. So it was a progressive way of making sure that she is cushioned as I also take my step of faith. So I didn't.
Before you continue, Brian, Cynthia,
Yes.
wewe na maji sasa, were you just supporting your husband hapa ndio do inatoka, ama you also had a small passion of wacha ni amekuja amekwambia kitu nimeanza, before I come in fully, you running it?
No, there was no passion. There was need for money. There was need for money.
Yes.
And by then, I was not in any employment. When we got married, I had to resign my previous workstation so that now we can be married and living in the same house. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult because I would either have remained there working, and he was still working in Machakos. And I thought, let me just resign and come and get married. But I am one
You
person.
were convinced to resign to
Yes.
come, or you convinced yourself?
I was convinced. I am one person who staying idle is very. I'll be. He knows I'll be problematic if I am idle. I'll overthink. I'm an overthinker. I'll overthink things when I am idle. So when I came, I started volunteering, and then I looked for a job. First, I volunteered at a school of Machakos School of the Physically Challenged for some months, and then I looked for a job. I got a job, and now when the baby was almost due, COVID hit. COVID hit, and after some time when we knew our way around COVID, I had to go back to work. And for the mothers out there, you know, a colicky baby, a baby with colic.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
baby was one of those. So I had to, and she refused to bottle feed. So I had to seek permission from the boss and go breastfeed, come back. So it was strenuous for me and also for the baby. I remember one evening, he was so worked up and he asked me, kwani ni pesa ngapi hii yenye unafanyia kazi? Si utoke nitakulipa. Hajai nilipa. I am still waiting for that money, but I saw his point, that the baby was suffering. I loved my work, yes, but for the sake of the baby, I decided to resign from my employment to come and take care of the baby first. So by the time he's bringing or pitching up the idea of of the lab, the baby had grown and I was at home. And because I wanted to be active, and I am always a person who wants to have a revenue or a stream, an extra stream of income. So he told me there is this idea. We looked for a premise. Now, because he's working, mimi na mafundi, Glogon, kwa nini, VT, industrial area, getting everything that we needed, and then the interviews, the staying there and learning the ropes. I will say mostly for me, it took a lot of learning because it was a new field. I had to read, I had to be on top of the game, so that when employees are coming in, they're not inquiring something and I am blank. It took a lot of learning, and business is continuous learning. I'm not saying I have perfected the art. New development, new inventions, new learning. And that is what we are doing.
Ah, lovely. Before Brian continues with the story, thank you so much for joining us. This is Team Talk 254, where we talk matters behind the boardroom doors. And thank you so much. Today we are hosting Phreatic Aqua Solutions Limited. Hawa na mambo ya maji ndio wale wase. These are the best guys when it comes to borehole drilling, borehole equipping, water treatment, irrigation, green energy.
Yes.
Yani kama uko na borehole inataka kuchimbwa, don't hesitate. And by the way, ukikimbia kwa uambie umetumwa na Team Talk 254 wakupeka bonus kidogo.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much. So Brian, keep us going. So, ndio hii kazi sasa wife ameingia in between. At least anasaidia. And
I remember most of the time I used to leave work at lunchtime, at tea break. I just go and check on how the progress. And she really did a good job. And that is her strength in terms of she said she likes the behind.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. So she did a lot of work there. And then fast forward, I eventually resigned from where I used to work and went into the business direct. And now the business has grown over time.
so at that point,
Yes.
is the business giving you more than what you're earning? Is it same level? Or you just have faith, whatever I'm earning, it will increase?
Wow. At that point, the business was still eating in terms of capital. It had not broken even, but we were still really pumping our resources into it because setting up the lab needed equipment and everything. So, but we thank God. In our first month, we were able to generate something out of the business. So,
First month.
yes, in our first month.
Umefungua biashara hivi kwa mwezi wa kwanza umepata kakitu. Sisi tunapiga mawe. Sisi tunapiga mawe.
That is the importance of doing a business research before you begin. I've seen a lot of people mess up because someone has put up a salon. You've not asked yourself, what are you going to sort out in the market in terms of the salon industry? I'm not saying you need to invent something new.
Yeah.
Because the Bible says there is nothing new under the sun. Whatever you would want to do, someone else is doing it. So the best thing is to leverage on whatever is in the market at that particular time and put an add-on onto it.
Right.
Just put an add-on onto it. You don't need to invent anything new. There is a way you can do salon business and it becomes very different from someone else who is still doing the same thing. There is a way you can open a shop that sells sukari and blueband. But as you have done a market research, you do it in a different way where people will prefer coming to buy sugar from you and not from the next shop.
Yes. Nice. Before we continue, Aquifina ilitokea aje sasa kwa Phreatic? Na nani alikuja na hiyo idea? Is it you or your wife?
Now, Aquifina, I've said the business has grown because we began as a lab, but now we grew into drilling. When I left work, we grew into drilling, we grew into equipping, we grew into borehole services. Another place where there were players in the market, but our leverage was in service delivery. Now you see, other people had the tracks of doing borehole servicing, but our leverage was on service delivery. We looked at what the market is offering. Someone gives a call to a service provider in the borehole services, and the vehicle is available in 2 weeks' time. And the person who told them that he's going to do the work, he told them that I'll come in the evening. And then the customer has to wait akilishwa story mpaka 2 weeks. For us,
niko njiani.
yes, niko
Tumetoka.
njiani. Tumetoka. Ndio hiyo,
Kajamu kidogo tu hapa alafu tu.
Namba ya driver ndio hiyo. Mguu imetoka. So for us, we don't play those games. If our vehicle is available in 2 weeks' time, we'll tell you the vehicle will be available in 2 weeks' time. If you have patience to wait for us, and in 2 weeks' time, we'll be there. So it's not something new in the market. It's just to identify a small thing. How are people being served? Like now, people need the vehicle and they need honesty in the business. So when we saw that, we have 2 trucks that does borehole services, and we are busy throughout the week.
And that's something, sorry to interject, that's something to think about. When you're into business, just be honest.
Yeah.
Ikienda mbaya ambia client enyewe. Tuko hapa. Lakini I have a solution, this and this and this, and everything will be okay. Just tell the client if there are delays. Just tell client, kuna ka delay hapa, but I'll make sure I sort it by this time. Usiambie client utafika asubuhi and then saa 4 ndio unatokea hapo umechangamuka. A client alikuexpect asubuhi, labda alikuwa na other things to do. Be honest to the client.
Now, my wife has talked about building the business step by step.
Yes.
Now you've seen it growing from the lab to drilling to borehole services. Now the part came in when my wife doesn't like staying idle. And if you give her money, she doesn't want to appreciate that she wants her own hard-earned money.
Yeah.
And so we decided to say, now we are drilling boreholes for people, but what are we doing for the people who cannot be able to afford a water treatment? Because when it comes to water treatment, the equipment sometimes cannot be affordable to the normal mwananchi. And so we decided, that we'd think of a way we can be able to now offer a solution for people to find affordable and quality drinking water at an affordable price. And that's how Aquifina was born, as a child of Phreatic. So people needed, yes, we've given them water, we've drilled the boreholes for them, but there are those who cannot afford the equipment to do the treatment for the water. Sometimes, basically, in Ukambani, the water is a bit salty. Okay. So you cannot consume it as it is because probably the salt is too much. So that's how Aquifina was born, to provide for the people who are around us. And Ukambani people drink a lot of water.
A lot of water.
Yes, so we decided to do that. And that is basically what now my partner handles in terms of
Thank you so much. So are you within town? Your homestead is within Machakos and other places which will tell you. Aquifina Crystal Clear, they'll do delivery of drinking water. Maji yao nimekwambia iko on point. Weka kwa ofisi, just one call and on time maji inaletwa. Cynthia.
Yes.
Kuna decision moja Brian ashaifanya ya biashara na ikaenda mbaya. Na kama ilienda mbaya, mulikushon hiyo situation aje?
Well, as he said, I am very practical. I am very analytical. Unfortunately, I am also very critical.
Okay.
You see, the person who will see this and just wants to look at the cons first. I know there are pros, but let's first deal with the cons so that we can know how to navigate around them. And one of the worst seasons, I think, for us was before Phreatic was born. There was another business called Adon.
Eh?
Yes, there's another business called Adon. Adon started as Adon General Supplies. I was selling yogurt. I was distributing yogurt in Machakos. But now then it evolved to Adon Engineering. Now, Adon Engineering, very early on in our marriage, we were just married for 4 months.
Okay.
And he decided to take up a step of faith, as he's saying, a step of faith and get into the drilling bit. And by then, like we were saying, you can get a client and you don't have the equipment by then when you're starting off, and then you subcontract somebody else.
Yes.
That is what we did. And the equipment that was brought to the client site, we sealed the deal with the client.
Okay.
But the equipment that was brought to the client site was not able to handle the soil or the area of the rock formation of that area. The bit was worn out, the track was old. So we've been paid by the client, we've paid we've been paid by the client, we've paid the driller. By then, remember, we are not drillers, now we are. And the driller comes to site, we've paid all the money actually. Mistake number?
Where? Staki deni?
Unajua mimi sitakangi madeni. So si nimelipwa na client, mimi wote ni kusort pesa yako yote, nitakuja kusupervise. The driller comes to site, the machine is not up to task. Akatuambia, and the client is there. And akatuambia, sasa wacheni nitoe hii rig site, niwalete ingine mpya. Alienda hivi one way. Akiendanga out of the country. Akiendanga out of the country. Remember, we have paid this driller in full. Client ako hapa, anauliza, oya, borehole yangu wasi. What did we do? Thank God we were able to access a facility. Tukena bank, tukachukua loan. Tukua ya $500,000. Took a loan of $500,000. Got another driller. Akamaliza kazi ya client. Tukabaki na loan ya kulipa. At least the client was satisfied. But the most beautiful thing out of all this, that first client is still our client to date.
Wow.
Because he saw the commitment, he saw the dedication, he saw the sacrifice. He knew tumeoshwa. Aliona pia. But the effort to ensure that we will cushion you. You are a client. You have nothing to do with what has happened. We finished his work. The borehole is still running to date. We have done how many? 2 other boreholes for him, or 1 other borehole for him, and another service in another town.
We've done like 5 more jobs for
him. Not necessarily drilling, but also equipping. We've done he trusted us. We earned his trust.
And he's a good friend.
A very good friend. Out of that quagmire. But I can tell you the Christmas of 2019 was not our favorite. Was not our favorite. Newly married, losses. And if I can mention, before he got married, they had started a venture of, for him, business has always been his thing, of planting melons in another town. And then this particular season, they reaped big, wonderful melons. I even went to see them when we were dating. And then they decided, wonderful, let's just plow back all this money. The next season, the river dried, the insects attacked the watermelon, and they had taken money from him. So by the time I'm getting married, I am coming in minus 200,000.
Unaingia kwa madeni.
Naingia kwa madeni. But so it was not a shock when this happened, but we've been able to recover. We learned our lessons. We can never repeat that mistake again. So, huku nje.
Watu wanaoshwa.
Mwosho moja safi.
Baby, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Umesikia, despite of whatever happens, client akuwe satisfied.
Yeah.
Mistakes zitaingia, vitu zitafanyika, but make sure your client is satisfied. Thank you so much for joining us. This is TEAMTALK254, where we talk matters business, matters marriage, and matters relationships. Thank you so much, eFilm Studio, for hosting us, and thank you so much to Look Media for having us behind the cameras. Thank you so much for Phreatic Aqua Solutions and Aquifina Crystal Clear. Brian, umeona mambo hapa imechemuka. Pesa imeenda, ndio nyinyi mmeingia bank. Mbona huku give up? Because most of the people, like I'm trying to imagine, nimelipwa na client nifanye events, 200,000, mistake imefanyika, I can't find the 200,000, have to do the job, have to look for another 200,000 to do the job and deliver.
Yeah.
To some point, as a human being, I'll feel, wacha tu ikae, ifanyike vile itafanyika. What's your word on that?
Wow. Actually, I always tell people is that our first business deal, we made a huge profit of negative 500. I think what I would say is that God allows you to go through these things so that you can build resilience and you can learn.
Yeah.
True.
Because the business world, reality be told, there is nobody who gets in business and it becomes as swift as the motivational speaker always tells us. Business is business, so you have to build strength, you have to build resilience. I can tell you from that experience, another thing happened the other day of the same kind. And that's why I say is God who allows you to go through these things so that you can be able to learn and you can be able to build resilience. So the same thing happened, but we handled it differently. The old truck was brought to site and we had only given a very small deposit in terms of...
From the experience.
And we were able to maneuver it very well based on the previous. So I always tell, I think for me is that these things, when they happen, you keep them in your file because they are learning seasons. They are not loss seasons. They are learning seasons on how you can be able to handle business better and how you can be able to make decisions in a better way. So I think that was a tough time. I remember the client used to call and I stand at attention in the house. You see the client's number.
Unaona sasa mambo yangu imeisha.
And the owner of the rig sends me a video that he is in India hospitalized. Ako kwa madrips. What? Ambia sasa unataka nikutolea wapi pesa? Na mimi ni mgonjwa. So I think it builds resilience. Right now I'm confident that if any business challenge comes, God has been able to help us to build the muscle to handle it.
Lovely. Yes. Now, biashara ndio hii, familia on the other hand. Where is the balance? For example, now that Brian has to leave early, you also have to check on things, vile zina run kwa ofisi, mtoto ndio huyu, familia ndio hii. Where is the balance? Cynthia.
I think the balance is found progressively. I wouldn't say that you find the balance at once. There are times that you lean more on the family side, and there are times that the business will demand that you lean more on the business side. For example, and there are times that it will need you to divide roles. And that's the beauty now of us being in business together, where I can request him to take up some of the roles that I am doing, and I'm handling family. Wow. And I won't say it is a very stable balance yet. You need to keep finding footing every day and every season, because seasons are different. For example, when the baby was young, it was very hard for me to be 100% saying the business is getting 50% of the time and the baby or the family is also getting 50% of the time. That was hard. That was almost impossible. But as the baby grew, now I give more time to the business. Yeah. By then, my husband will now give more time to the business because it needs to be covered. You just can't neglect business. It will collapse. It will collapse. So my husband had to take up more of the business roles, and I took up more of the family roles, and I will come in the business once in a while. And now the baby is big. So right now the balance is there. Mtoto ameenda shule. So tukitoka sisi wote asubuhi, tunakutana sisi wote jioni. And it's easier. So understand the season that you are in, and also know that seasons come and go. Maximize. If this season is demanding more of family time, ask the one who is more primary in that role to take it up more, understand they need to take up the other one, and just complement one another. So seasons come, seasons change, and in each season, find your balance. You can't say that it is a smooth, this is the balance right here. Yeah.
Brian, unajua mtu akiwa kwa biashara, there will be always those very hard, tough times. Like leo, mi sitaki story. Nimepigwa 10-0, sasa leo, I just want to be alone. Sitaki tu story. And the family is here, waiting for you. Your baby is waiting for you. Akisikia honi kwa gate, anajua bus, daddy amefika, it's time to play around. At that point, how do you make sure that you don't transfer the stress from business to your family? Especially now your kid, who at this point doesn't understand, ati sasa 500, hiyo ni nini? Yeah, haelewi.
Wow. Family, I think for me, I've always found peace at home.
Wow.
And thanks to my wife and my daughter, I think she knows any opportunity that I'll get, I'll run home because it's a peaceful home.
Kuna amani.
Yes. So whether you have done it and you've been beaten by huku nje, because sometimes it happens, but I think that's why it's good to marry right.
Yeah.
If you go home and you find now pia home kuna mambo, then it becomes so difficult for you as a business person. But if you can always find a peaceful place to go back to. Actually, I always go back home to recharge. I don't take it as a nagging when my daughter wants to play with me, because it's a peaceful place to go back to. And that environment has been provided by this beautiful lady here. So you can always, hata nikipigwa huku nje, home is best. Home is best. The earliest I can go there to refresh, the better.
Thank you so much. So to each and every one of us, wacha nyumbani ikuwe ndio rescue center. Ya your husband, your wife, or your kids. Isikuwe sasa mzee akifika nyumbani kila mtu bedroom ama jikoni. Please make sure that home is the best place to host your family, your husband, your wife, or your kids. Cynthia?
Yes.
Hakukosangi ile situation hapa kila mtu anaenda south, mimi naenda north. Mshaifika ile sasa mmedisagree kwa certain thing, be it business or family. Brian wants to go south, you want to go north. And how did you resolve it?
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Several.
You see, these are two adults with a mind of their own, with different cultures. He was born in a different locality. I was born in a different locality. So we are very different. Our personalities are also very different. And then I am also very opinionated.
Yeah.
So when the wife is opinionated and and analytical and critical, amtakosa ku clash. And we don't clash on, we actually made it very clear, we don't clash on personalities, we clash on ideologies. It is not, I am not fighting you as a person. And I have nothing against you. Actually, you are my person. You are my person for life. I chose you for life. But hii idea ndio kidogo tunapita.
Inaenda south.
Like I remember there was a time when we were starting out business, and Brian wanted a pickup. And not just a pickup, a single cab pickup, but 0 mileage. Hey.
Kwa duka.
Kwa duka,
karatasi.
Ni mimi najifungulia. Karatasi. And we had a discussion around it. And he told me his thoughts. And for me, I was like, give me the math. Give me the math. And this, unfortunately for me, where I was coming from was, we didn't have the whole amount of money. So we were going for asset financing.
Yes.
So for me, I want to see how this pickup is going to generate income both for the company and to repay itself. Show me the math. Kama hakuna hesabu mimi hii deal singi.
Hakuna.
I am a person of faith, but kwanza nionyeshe hesabu. I know, nionyeshe hesabu kwanza. And he didn't agree. He even went a step ahead. I remember one time he came and picked me up and akaniambia kuja nikuonyeshe kitu. He took me to one of the biggest outlets that sell single cab pickups. Ananiambia chagua color. I am a lover of cars. For my friends know,
I know.
I am a lover of cars. So he told me, choose the CC, choose the color. What do you want? Do you want manual? You see, all those things. Went mbele ya watu nikacheza chini.
Ukajifanya vile tuko pamoja hapa.
We were in sync like this. You see, you are, and sure, actually this is something, don't fight in public.
Yeah, true.
Shield each other in public, and then mkirudi na huko kwenu, sir, you can iron your differences.
Let's iron out.
Yes, let's iron out things. And so that it escalate tena. So I chose it. There are some papers he was supposed to fill in. He picked the papers, he filled in. Mimi naangalia tu, jaza hakuna shida. And then we left. And then I told him, hiyo pickup bado tununue.
Pause. Brad. Wife ashakataa. But still you pushing for it. Umeenda umesign hizo makaratasi and ndio anataka kukuambia haiwezekani. Is it faith? Did you decide to be the man of the house at that point? What was running in your head?
Wow, I think one of the things that helps us is that we have decided as a family that nobody will make decisions solely.
Yeah.
So if my wife is not on board, there is no way I can make.
Hiyo hakuna conclusion. Hakuna deal.
But I still pushed my own way. Even after signing the papers, I went to Cooperative Bank. Paka nikapata approval. Niko nayo kwa desk. Approval. Our bank accounts were okay. Yeah. Everything was okay. We were able to finance it. Paka niko na approvals from Cooperative Bank. Yeah, kuchukua pickup. But since she was not on board, we didn't pick it. And I always thank her for that, because right now we will still be having a facility with Cooperative Bank paying for the pickup, and it wouldn't have yielded much. No. So my advice to men, please, our ladies have something called the sixth sense.
Sixth sense.
If you see your wife is not on board, please just just trust God. I know it's hard for men to do this, because even in Christian circles, God has given us the leadership role. So even at some point, you'll feel like this lady or this woman doesn't want to. She's just nagging. What is the problem? And after all, we have the capacity to pay for this and everything. But she had the sixth sense, because I think, was it 6 or 5 months down the line, we were able to buy a Land Cruiser without a facility. And the Land Cruiser is giving us so much more than what the pickup would have given us.
Umesikia tulia. Yani, wife akikwambia, hebu ngoja, please tulia. Unajua wanaume tunapenda ile, I'm the man of the house. Yeah. And by the way, mimi hiyo kitu ilikuwa inanisumbua sana. Mimi could just make a decision, continue, nimalize hizo vitu, and then ukifika nyumbani, I bought a phone. Yeah, very big phone, 200,000. Alafu sasa the wife, okay? Sawa. Yet, labda ungeshare na yeye angekwambia. So every time you want to do something as a family, take time, discuss it out, listen to both sides, and then come up with a conclusion. Cynthia?
Yes.
Maybe just to add on something. One of my biggest cheerleaders, and I think when that sunk in my mind, I think it has helped me a lot. One of the most person who would want to see me succeed is my wife. Because we are bringing up a family together. We are bringing up children together who have 50% of our blood.
True.
So if she is not okay with something, it's not that she is not okay with me.
No.
It's for the well-being of the family. And if you learn that, akikwambia hapana, of course, utagaga kidogo, kasirike ukuje saa 2 jioni saa 3. But I always appreciate her for that sixth sense that we can be able. So men, listen to your wife.
Listen to your wife. Cynthia.
Yes.
Makaratasi imesainiwa. So in your mind uko sure, ni kama hii nimechezwa.
The beauty is, and I really want to appreciate him for that. He wouldn't. In as much as he'll push to the last straw, he wouldn't do it unless we are in agreement. And I am so honored by that you're giving me, and I've not taken up leadership role. You've honored me so much that you want to hear me out. You want to listen to my opinion. And again, we've honored each other so much that the company is 50-50.
Wow.
Even if he were to sign, I would need to sign. So itakuwa ngumu. Itakuwa ngumu. And he's brought up the aspect of the Land Cruiser. By the time he told me about the Land Cruiser, I've said I'm analytical. He's very spontaneous. And spontaneous people are really good in business because they'll see an opportunity, grab it. And for me, I'll see that opportunity, analyze it. So we balance each other out. So when he told me about the Land Cruiser, I ransacked the internet and I looked for a Land Cruiser. And we realized the business has generated this. We're not buying the Land Cruiser for ourselves. We're buying it for the company.
Yeah.
So the business car has raised this amount. And then we had our first car was a Fielder that I loved. I loved that car. And we thought, can we talk to this person? We trade in the Fielder and then we top up some amount. And the first meeting, he didn't even come. I went with now the person who was supposed to be the driver of the Land Cruiser. He's still the person driving the Land Cruiser. And we went to check out the Land Cruiser. So when they were going to seal the deal, it was now the driver and Brian who went. And we saw, and it was a good deal. That was a deal that I was comfortable with. You've shown me that this Land Cruiser, we are coming, equipping it, and it's going to do borehole service. And borehole service is going to bring us this income, and the company will grow. So I was not opposed to his ideas. It's just that particular one that was not adding up for me. Yeah.
Nice. Brian, kitu inatulemeanga kama wanaume. Nikijiongelelea. Sometimes business inatubebanga in a way. Umechoka, you're thinking about the next projects. But again, here is your wife. You're working together, mmeshinda naye the whole day, mmekwaruzana huko kwa biashara nini. Where is the romance coming in between you and your wife?
Wow. That's an interesting question because despite of us doing business, making money, we still have a life together.
Yeah.
We still have a life together. I can't say we've achieved 100%. We are work in progress. But I think what I will say is that I will say business and family. Let me say I'll copy-paste it to a Christian life. I'm not only a Christian on Sunday.
Yeah.
But I'm a Christian on Monday when I'm at the office. I'm a Christian on Tuesday when I'm at site drilling. I'm a Christian on Wednesday when I'm doing all these other things. So you can't separate work life and Christianity. And I will put the same analogy to business. I think, according to me, you can't separate both of them. They are intertwined. They are things that work hand in hand. There is no way that now I'm fixed to business now. There is no family. Then there is at a point I kick on the button. Family.
Naingia nyumbani.
Ndio narudi nyumbani naeka gear ya family. I think as I do business, I think about my wife. I think about my children as well. So that's why once in a while we decide that, okay, today, in the process of doing business, we are from a business meeting, let's go out for lunch. Just talk.
Okay.
In the process of doing business, let's have dinner and talk. In the process of doing business, tukisha toka job, napitia Naivas. You buy a chocolate, take it to her.
Hiyo inakuja sana.
Hiyo inakuja sana.
So I think that they are inseparable because this is part and parcel of our lives. And so in as much as you're doing business, your wife, your children are supposed to be part of it. I can't say we have achieved 100%. I think there's a time we discussed and I decided personally that I won't be picking any business calls beyond 9
p.m.
By then ni kweli Brian past 9. Mimi afadhali nipigie Cynthia. Nimuulize Brian amelala ndio nimpigie.
Because I realized the time that I'm supposed to be talking to my wife, spending time. So the reason why I pushed it tonight, it could have been 7. But there are sometimes now the vehicles are outside and the people need facilitation for sleeping and everything. So we set it at 9. And at night, there are nights, by the way, tunapiga story paka saa 7, saa 8 za usiku, because her love language is quality time. Yeah. So I have to find time in my busy schedule to create time for her. And that's her first love language is physical touch and quality time. So once I understand these two, I have to at least create time. Kuna moja bado napambana na
unaendelea kuiweka foundation.
She loves anataka tukitembea tao tukue tunashikana mkono.
Najaribu kwa stairs moja alafu mnachana.
But Mungu amenisaidia. Most of the time tukiwa town we are driving, so
you are safe. You're very safe.
So I'm safe, but I'm really working hard. I'm really working hard.
Ifike your level.
Ifike your level. But just understand the love language. It's not that now if your wife's love language is quality time and physical touch, she's not acquainted to these other love languages. Once in a while, throw in a gift and everything, and balance.
Thank you.
But
so
please
much.
not, we are not. We are not.
If I can come in also, we kept joking. He's mentioned that we are family friends. And there is a joke that goes around that when you're on vacation and your husband owns a business, you are just chilling at the beach and then we just see him walk out with the phone and then he'll take the laptop, do quotations. You see, so it is, as he has mentioned, it's intertwined. Sometimes also as a spouse, you understand that business also sometimes may take time for family.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, hata mkitoka hiyo vacation, mnahitaji do.
Yes. Inatoka kwa hiyo biashara.
Inatoka kwa hiyo biashara. So at the end of the day, know that a balance is necessary. He's laughed because those are instances that have happened where he's walked out on us during a vacation and ameenda kushika simu ya client. Yeah. So just understand.
Saa ingine inaenda 30 minutes one hour. Kidogo tu. I'm sorting something.
Yeah, it has happened and it happens. Just understand it.
Thank you so much. Another big thank you for joining us. This is Team Talk 254, where we talk matters marriage, matters relationships, and matters business. Thank you so much to eFilm Studio. Thank you so much to Look Media. Thank you so much to Freatic Aqua Solutions. And thank you so much to Aquifina Crystal Clear. And by the way, if you need to share your love story, your relationship story, your business story, you can always reach Team Talk 254 through an email, or you can always call us direct. We business sio mchezo. Biashara is not for just everyone. Me, I would say. Unakonga kwa biashara saa ingine and then vitu zinakupiga 10-0. You sit down, you want to go face your family, uambie, by the way, ile milioni ilikuwa kwa account. Nilitoa, ilikuwa nadhani itarudi kwa jioni, lakini haikurudi. Something people need to understand about business. Account za biashara mnazirana. Now that there is 2 companies involved, there is a family in between who takes in and out the money, when, where is the agreement, when do you talk about it? Sometimes I understand there kuna zile vitu abrupt, gari imeisha mafuta wacha niweke, and then I'll explain later, which is understandable. But there are those big projects, we want to buy a car like you said. How do you run the business accounts?
Our roles are very distinct. We work together, but our roles are very distinct. He is in phreatic drilling. He is in phreatic water treatment. He is in phreatic green energy. He's in phreatic irrigation and swimming pools. He is that is his scope. He's in phreatic servicing or the servicing of the borehole. A client has already an existing borehole, but the pump or the motor has malfunctioned. Go pull it out. Nangalia kama iko sawa bado, have another one, put it back. That is his area. And now there are 2 trucks when it comes to servicing. He runs one. He runs the Land Cruiser. How it is fueled, we have an incredible team, by the way. They are very incredible, very meticulous. Once we send them to say they'll do the job, we've trained them to do the job meticulously. So he'll handle that. How the truck is fueled, if they are spending a night there, how they are facilitated for that, he'll handle that. The other truck, I'll be how it's fueled, how it's serviced, how those people are going to spend and their well-being, how they're going to be paid. It's now on my side. Phreatic Lab, it's me now. Phreatic Lab is me, and that is what I take care of. Aquifina is me. On paper, it's 50-50. Okay. We cannot do major transactions without consulting one another. But to avoid bottlenecks and bureaucracy, we have given each other very distinct roles where we don't have to keep consulting. Naweza eka gari mafuta ya 2,000 ama 3,000.
Okay.
So that workflow is easier. So we are able to allow autonomy, but in major decisions, we allow each other to make the major decisions. And now there is also intertwining, depending on our strengths. We are not gifted the same. He's gifted in sales and he's really good at it, and he's also gifted in debt collection. Siezi itisha mtu deni. Si hata unajua kuna deni yangu. Si unilipe. So for me, that is where I come from. So we complement each other. So even for the areas of where I am aligned, I'll just provide a list of the people that owe us, and he'll do debt collection, he'll do sales. But now I am also good at detail. I'll do salaries for the staff, and I'll do returns, compliance, KRA, and very everything. Important. Very important. When a business is running, please ensure it's compliant. Yeah. So for me, I'll do much of the back office work. The staff and NSSF, SHA is paid. All these, their salaries are credited to their accounts in time, and all the necessary deductions, the housing levy are made and remitted. That is my area or my scope of work. So ideally, I will tell a person, when you are running a business, especially when you are a family, separate business from self. There is you, the person, and the business. That money belongs to the business. And even the state knows that money belongs to the business. So you should be able to pay returns. So have an ETR. Please be compliant. You don't have just to be caught off guard about these things. So try as much as possible to be compliant when it comes to the government. So our roles are very distinct. We don't overlap. Now, unless we're doing major decisions like we're buying a truck, he'll say he'll need a truck. You see, now he's the brains behind the business. I am the executor. I need a truck. I'll look for the truck. We will go negotiate the truck, about the truck, and then the truck will be equipped. We need another one. He'll tell me we need another one. Do we have them? Does the company have the money? Because it's not us who are buying. It's the company that is buying its own truck. So does the company have the money for it? Fine. The company has the money for it. So I'll look for the truck, and then we'll go buy the truck. So the major decisions we consult. There are some, like right now, he does not bother to ask me, umefile returns za KRA? No, azimuhusu, zitafailiwa. Zikikosa kufailiwa kuna penalty. Utalipa shida yako, utajua kwenye utatoa pesa. And I also don't go to him like, ile borehole yenye ulikuwa na drill, uli manage kufikisha zile meters zenye, unless it's just well-being of the project. How is the project going? Unless project iko na stress, and I'll encourage him. I'll also accompany him to site sometimes, but it is not my lead area. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Brian. Kuna watu wanaulizanga na hii kuchimba maji hii borehole ni kama 20 million. Hata sasa mwananchi wa kawaida anashangaa, hiyo maji kabla ifikiwe ikuje tuweke nyumbani nini. They think it's a lot of money. Yes, it is, but it's worth the money. But people would like to understand, ndio pia watu wasigongwe nje. It's good people to have information.
Yeah, very true.
What is the process of drilling a borehole? because mtu ataenda pale ambiwe hiyo kitu tunachimbanga ni 20,000 tupatie tuende tukufanyie, ni 20 million, ni 1 million, ni 5 million. And because they don't know, wengine watagongwa, wengine watamesiwa up, and then when you're being called ati kumbe kulikuwa na phreatic, unaenda unapata vitu hapa zilienda sawa. So can you tell our viewers just the simple process of where they need to start before they pay their money for drilling?
Wow, thank you so much for this opportunity. I think borehole drilling is one of a necessity in especially these semi-arid areas, and I've seen clients reaping big in regards to having a borehole project. So the borehole drilling process begins from hydrological survey, where a scanning or a survey is conducted in a client's land. Your parcel of land, be it 10 acres, be it 5 acres, be it 50 by 100. We've drilled boreholes even in 50 by 100 plots. And now you do a hydrological survey where our team with our hydrologists come to scan your land to be able to identify the most appropriate position of drilling. And also we can be able to give you a tentative estimate of the quality and the quantity of water that you are expecting to get in your land. So the hydrological survey will cost you around 35,000, depending on where and the region that we are doing that. After hydrological survey, we go to the permits because we have to comply with the government. So the permits, depending on where your land is located, we have WARMA permits, that is the Water Resource Authority permit that is taken from the Water Resource Authority body. We have NEMA permit because we have to make sure that the project is compliant with the environment. And then we have the county government to give us an approval to be able to do it. So those 3 permits are necessary, and they can be attained within, the hydrological survey will take like 1 day, and the report within 3 days. The permits will take maybe within a month. That is between 2 weeks and 3 weeks. And then once we get the permits for drilling, we mobilize our trucks to your site to come and drill. And the actual drilling will take approximately 1 week. 1 week in terms of completing the borehole project. So we'll drill to the desired depth. So the drilling cost is costed per meter, and so it ranges between 5,500 shillings to 6,700 shillings per meter, depending on the area and depending on the type of casings that are being installed. So if we do plastic casings for you, we will do it at 5,500 per meter. If we do steel casings for you, we'll do at 6,700 per meter. And then once we are done with the borehole drilling, we do what we call borehole development. Borehole development is done to the borehole so that it can allow you to be able to open, because while drilling the boreholes, there are rivers that flow underground or underneath, and that's what we target when we are doing the hydrological survey. So we do borehole development to open them up so that they can pour water into the borehole. Once we are done with the borehole development, we come to casing installation, where we secure the drilled hole, because sometimes there are debris that can fall and fill the hole, because we don't drill a very big hole. We drill a hole of around 8-inch diameter. So we install the casings to secure it safely so that now the water can ingress into the hole. After that, we get into pump testing, where we pump the water out of the borehole for 24 hours continuously, so that we can be able to establish the amount or the quantity, the exact quantity of water that we have been able to drill. Once we do the pump testing, we collect a sample of 1 liter, take it to our labs here in Machakos, and be able to analyze and see the quality of water that we have drilled. After that, based on the pump testing report, we design for you a pump that can be able to bring out the water out of the borehole. Nowadays, we are doing solar because we are encouraging people to go green, and the cost of operating a borehole that is run on solar is very low. So we always encourage our clients to operate their boreholes on solar. And if you have an existing borehole that is already operating on Kenya Power please contact us, visit us in our offices, and we'll be able to convert it to solar. And I know your life will not be the same again. So welcome to Phreatic and drill with us. So approximately the drilling cost, maybe in the lower eastern region, should cost you between 1.8 million to 3 million, depending on the quantity of water you will get and the depth that you will go in.
Nice. Ukigongwa, usiulize team talk. Please don't.
Yeah.
Ule mtu anakuja anakwambia ball tunachimba leo tukuwekee sola leo tu maji utakunywa leo. Please. We are not liable. You have gotten it from the experts.
Yeah.
Go through the right procedure. Ndio maana unasikia watu siku hizi wanasema ball yangu ilikauka, sijui maji iliisha. No. You didn't follow the right procedure. And we don't blame you, of course.
Yeah.
You never knew.
Yeah.
But now you have the right people to do it right. Hey, Cynthia.
Yes.
Watu wanataka maji town, wanataka nyumbani. Wataipata aje? Where? Which areas do you cover? And how do they get it? Is there an extra charge from how you sell your water, how much you sell your water at, depending on the distance, or how do you go about it?
Ideally, for now, we are selling water, we are refilling water at the river and Emali.
Yes.
We have stations there. And at the river, both shops, the water quality is the same.
It's the same,
Very
yeah.
good. We actually do quality assurance every weekly, actually, to ensure that the quality of the water is still the same. And for the clientele around that area, we deliver the water for free within that locality.
Scary.
That
Free.
we deliver it for free because it's an after sale. It's a way of saying thank you for purchasing from us. And the clientele are appreciating. Machakos is also a venture we are hoping to come in very soon. So keep it locked.
Keep it locked.
Keep
watu wa
it locked.
Machakos.
We are coming. We are coming. We are coming.
Lakini ukitaka maji Machakos utapata. Me, I know Phreatic and Aquifina, they'll bring the water to you. Anyway, keep locked.
Yes, keep it locked. He's saying that because we get them water.
By the way, maji tunakunywa hapa ni Phreatic.
Yes. Aquifina, when we used to bring water to Machakos, but we paused for a bit, but there are clientele that decided imagine ni tamu hatutaachilia wewe jua tu venye utatufikishia hii maji. So when we bring water from now at the river to Machakos, but we don't have an outlet in Machakos, but it is.
But you need to have one.
It is coming soon.
Please,
it's in the works. The math is.
Natetea watu wa nyumbani.
The math is mathing. The math is mathing.
The math is mathing.
Coming soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Brian and Cynthia.
Yes.
Sisi ni Wakristo. This is a very delicate question. Yeah. And we need to help others as we also help ourselves. A good example, Brian, umesema mko na trucks kwa barabara na things happen. Unaendesha gari kwa barabara and you meet traffic police. Ama your team wamekutana. And then maybe mistake imeingia, maybe gari iligongwa mahali haijapakwa rangi.
Yeah.
Or just something is not adding up the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Traffic police wamekuambia sasa hii gari ni ya kuwekwa ndani. It's not roadworthy. Timu wamekupigia simu wakamwambia hapa tumebambwa. Tumebambwa na tunapelekwa ndani. Biblia inasema mistake ikikotokea ama ukosane na mtu, kabla akufikishe pale mbele, let's talk it out.
Yeah.
In our country setup, we know what happens.
Yeah.
So because nimejipata kwa mistake, nimejipata kwa makosa, I have to talk to this police. Nimwambie, nyawe, nani lisahau? And you know the way people do it. kunywa chai, wacha niende nirekebishe hiyo. Where is the thin line between bribe na chai?
In Kenya, chai ni bribe. In our country, chai ni kitu kidogo, chai, bribe. It's a beautiful way of calling a bribe. You see, it's beautifying a bribe. Have we ever been found in traffic offenses happen? Of course, not endangering lives, but they happen. They happen, and that's a fact of life. And the first instance ni venye umesema, unaongea naye, mimi naomba unisamehe. Nimekubali.
Hapa niko.
Hata siwezi kataa. Nimekubali, I am at fault. Niko na makosa mkubwa. Nisamehe, nitaenda kurekebisha. But there are instances where it works. And nakwambia ni sawa, enda. No, nisikuone tena.
Hiyo usirudie tena. Hiyo gari ikipitia hapa tena.
Ninakufunga. But there are instances that it does not work. Kwambia nikusamehe kwa nini? Siwezi. Si ulikuwa unajua iko hivi, na pia ni wewe ni kweli mkubwa. Ni kweli mkubwa, nilikuwa najua ni hivyo. The instances where the drivers imebidi ni sell. Wenda sell. Ingia ndani. We are coming to sort. Cash bill ni how much? We are impoverishing our country by paying that 50 bob or 500 bob or 1,000 to a pocket of somebody instead of paying that 10,000 that will go to the system, to the economy of the country. Secondly, if you pay that 500, hautasikia uchungu. Hiyo 10,000 itakuuma.
Siku ingine hiyo mistake.
Siku ingine hauwezi jaribu. You see now, it brings a situation where you learn from your mistakes. And we are not saying that you need to learn from your mistakes always, but that mistake yenye umepatikana nayo, you learn. Like I remember there is an instance where I think it's the bumper that was scratched during our work has a lot of wear and tear. And ni rangi imebambuka kwa gari ya white. Gari ya white inaonekana hii ni rangi imetoka. And that was a traffic offense. It's not dangerous driving or anything. And we were charged for that. Hiyo gari ilitoka site. Straight. Kwenda kupakwa rangi. Why? Because you have already paid the cost.
Yes.
Kuongea in this case inafaa iwe, mimi naomba unisamehe. And what I would, akisha kusamehe, akikwambia, you go, toka uende. Now you can rethink and decide, can I say thank you or not? You see, at that point you have prerogative. You have a choice of either saying thank you, cash-wise or otherwise, or not. But ile yenye it is attached to your release, hiyo ni hongo.
Brian, what do you add on that? Because, kama kumekuwa na hizo issue, it's very open. Kwa news umeona every matatu wakipita. No, sisi hatuna shida. Hiyo ni shida yao. But what do you think about that?
I think what I would say is that the traffic officers, they are doing their job, and they are very good people.
Yes.
And if an unroadworthy vehicle ikitembea na iende ikafanye accident, kama haina brake light for example, na isimame mbele ya gari ingine ama slow down na gari ingine haioni, alafu hiyo gari ingine ikuje igonge nyuma na watu wakufe.
Kweli.
It's a very wrong thing.
It's a very wrong thing.
You purchasing people's life with only 500 shillings or 100 shillings.
True.
So for us, we've decided to be compliant. Kuna file kwa ofisi, iko na cash bail mingi sana. Na waambianga tukishalipa ndio iwe funzo kwetu.
Ndio iwe funzo kwetu ndio hiyo.
Ingine iko na fines. Kuna fines, tunaendanga kotini. I think when you meet with the police people and they tell you kuna makosa, na unaona ndio kuna makosa. There are instances where we've rubbed our shoulders because mimi hakuna makosa naona.
Hapa hakuna makosa.
And so we've rubbed each other the wrong way, and there are those instances. But there are instances where sincerely a brake light is not working and it's a hazard to a fellow road user. And so if a brake light is not working you, just as my wife has said, you talk to the police. There are people. Ambia, by the way, hata mimi sikuwa nimeona. So uko na options mbili. Actually, I always tell them uko na options mbili. Kwa sababu I'm a law abiding citizen. Either unishike ama unisamee. Bali kunisamee ni sawa. Ukikataa kunisamee, twende uniandikie makosa, I pay the fine, and I'm able to release. So those things that are hazardous to the fellow road users, please don't pay a bribe for it. In as much as it is wrong in God's eyes, it's also endangering people's lives. So I would rather we comply and be able to, if kama ni makosa imefanyika, askari anaweza kusamea, na akikusamea usiendelee kuendesha hiyo gari. Enda urekebishe, make sure that the brake lights or whatever was not functioning is functional, and sort it out. And of course, my drivers have friends kwa barabara. Wako na marafiki zao na askari. Sometimes hata huwa wasimamishwi. Wanajua wale wa salama wanakuanga marafiki zetu. So they stop by themselves. Wanawapea chai, of which is not to release them out of any mistake they have done. But now is just to appreciate, okay, ni marafiki zetu.
Hiyo kunywa chai sisi
which is still okay. But it's not as a result of now giving them so that they can be able to release you in case of. Mimi nawaambianga anything kama ni makosa
na hapa hizi samehewa,
ingia ndani. And I always notify our clients. Tumepatikana na kashida kidogo kwa barabara,
we have to sort it
out then. If you can get another vehicle that can sort you out, it's still okay. If you can wait for us, let's sort this issue and then we come and sort you out.
That is very nice. All right, before we get the parting shot from Brian and Cynthia, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. This has been Team Talk 254, episode 2.0. Thank you so much to our Hosty Film Studios. Thank you so much to Look Media for having us. And thank you so much to Friatic Eco Solution for joining us today. And thank you to Aquifina Crystal Clear for joining us. In your parting shot, I want you to also include, a couple wants to start business together. What would be your advice? Brian, starting with you.
Wow. A couple who wants to begin business together, one, I would encourage you, it's a very good thing. Working alongside your spouse, I think one of the confidence that you have is that this is a person who has the same interests as you have in the business. Employees, truth be told, their motivation is salary. Now, I'm sure my wife, the motivation is not salary. The motivation is to see us grow. So it's a very good thing. And the second thing that I will advise that couple is that know your strength. Know your strength. Analyze, look at what your spouse can do best. Just as she has told us, I'm good in sales, I'm good in debt collection. Mimi nitakupigia tu mlango kila siku.
Nilipe.
Na simu. Kila siku. Ile pesa ulisema namna. I don't get tired of that. That's my strength. Order pia nitakupigia simu kila siku. Paka i-convert. But for her, that's not her strength. But when it comes to now doing the HR and the other bit of work, she's good. So analyze, know what your wife or your spouse can do the best. Let them stick to that lane and your business will grow together. Also, please don't force each other into it. Let everyone be on board voluntarily. Because if you force each other into it, it will bring the business down. Because someone will not be there voluntarily. I've always been open with her because I know I'm the one behind the business. I've always told her, if you would at some point want to get another line of business or another line of nini, because at some point right now I am seeing she's evading that. At some point she was really into career. Right now I'm seeing her diverting not into career. But I've always encouraged her that God did not bring you in my life so that you can support my vision. You have a vision of your own, and if you would want to pursue it, please, you have my blessings to pursue it.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Cynthia.
Wonderful. I think for me, I would tell them, one, have the heart for the business. Business is not a straight line. So now that you are a family, both in the business, your revenue stream most likely will come from that. So for the high seasons, save for the high seasons, invest for the high season, during the high seasons, because the fact of life is low seasons come.
Yeah.
And because your stream of income is one as a couple, please, during the low seasons, like hibernate. That's not the time to buy everything. That's not the time to invest everything. That's the time to pay the necessities only.
Yeah.
That's the time to pay rents, to pay staff. That's the time to pay taxes only. Any other extravagant expenses should be kept at a low, because it's a fact. Low seasons come. Secondly, if you can, once that business is established, also diversify income. You see, when the Englishman said that don't put all your eggs in one basket, it's very nice. Why? Because low seasons are not the same for every business. So the low season of the water industry is not necessarily the low season of the agricultural industry. So when this one is down, this one can keep you up. And when this one is up, this one maybe they'll interchange. So diversify your revenue streams. Thirdly, please, as you progress, be compliant. Compliance is something that can bring you down in an instance. Secondly, also, I know this is very hard for Kenyans. You can attest. Jilipe. Ikiwezekana jilipe. Why? Because that business should grow on its own.
Yeah.
And you are also not left behind. And also, you are not growing at the expense of the business. So allow them to grow. You are growing simultaneously as well as your business. Thirdly, build structures progressively that business can survive outside the personality of you.
Wow.
You have a workforce. You can, and I've said progressively, it's not something that happens overnight, that you can have staff, you have put up structures that when you are away, this business will not collapse. You're not building it for you, you're building it for generations.
Wow.
You're building it for generations.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That has been our time at TEAMTALK254, where we, of course, talk matters business, matters marriage, and matters relationships. Thank you so much once again, eFilm Studio, for hosting us. eFilm Studios, they are located in Machakos Town, Litka Square Building, just along Police Road. Ukiwa hapo KCB, you can always make a call. They'll be able to attend to you. They have a good studio for photography and videography, a space to hire. They also do events, be it rural, be it traditional wedding, or any other celebration. Thank you to Look Media for having us behind the cameras. They also have a very great studio in Machakos Town, hapo stage. Quick Mat, ukiwa hapo you just make a call. They'll be able to attend to you in studio photography and also events, be it rural weddings or any other service you need from them. Thank you so much to Phreatic Aqua Solutions. Hawa nimewaambia mambo ya ball, please usigongwe. These are the best people when it comes to borehole drilling, servicing, mambo ya irrigation, mambo ya green energy. Hiyo usitafute mahali pengine. Phreatic Aqua Solutions, they are the best and leading company, not only in Kenya, Africa, and beyond. Thank you to Aquifina, Crystal Clear. Umesikia ukihitaji maji, be it in homesteads, be it kwa shops, hao ndio wale wasee. Thank you so much to everybody for watching us. Thank you for having us and always coming back to us. Always subscribe to our channel, like and share for other people to be able to get this information. Until next time, this will be coming by the way to you every Friday of the week. Always stay tuned. Adios.
Thank God.